morning. How you doing? Good. First and foremost, to piggyback on what Shaq said, this is not the only way we recruit. It is a way because we still use a lot of warm market. But there are certain things that I noticed as we started working with the new generation. So there's a lot of main points that I'm going to go, there's a few main points I'll go over because there's really not a lot. It's very simple. You don't want to complicate it. And don't change anything that's already working, by the way. So when I make an adjustment, I add an adjustment. And anything that's not working, I'll change. But just because you did it once or twice doesn't mean it's not working. You just haven't done it for at least 90 days yet. And this actually really, what I'm going to talk about started with Nalia really, because she was really the first one that ran with it. And it only works if somebody has credibility as well, just FYI, okay? So if somebody has 2 followers on Instagram, probably not going to work, okay? But we had Josh Sandigo come as a 600K, 500K earner to one of our Fast Start schools, and he talked about social media and how he built it from 0 to, I don't know how many he has showing up right now, but he has a whole stage in his office, and what he's built has been awesome. I've been following him on social media, and he said just one thing that I got a lot from him is having other people post for you. Mm-hmm. So that's where that started, right? But yeah, don't change anything that's already working. I still run a play where Shaq had in an old, in a traditional Primerica way, we still recruit by day, sell by night. Because your nighttime activity, day and weekend activities still have to be client focused. You have to be over the field, and nothing is better than getting in front of somebody in person, okay?
Sorry to interrupt you. In regards to that, recruit by day, sell by night, you're saying you want to be on appointment, business getting activity in the evening?
Yes.
How many days in a row did you have 2 appointments per day?
Like the last 6 out of 7 days.
Right. So you told Shaq 7 days ago that for the next 14 days you had 2 appointments a day booked already. I mean, that's what you mean by that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So we usually have a 6 p.m. and an 8 p.m. book. Sometimes we have 4 appointments booked for the evening, but because we double book on purpose because 50% will happen. But it's, there's relatively so many people now coming in, new people that need to be filtering. And I wouldn't be up here if our team wasn't as aligned. So, Eddie has the same message that I have. Ricky's quarterbacking him, and Nolly is quarterbacking me. And then with the exception of, Kat coming in, showing up more, we have a daytime environment Thursday mornings and Friday mornings. We show up before 9 a.m. Most people are not late at all, or else they don't even get to come, right? So if you're late, you don't even come to our environment on Thursday and Friday. If you're late by 1 minute, don't even come anymore. You should not be late by 1 minute. And there's no such thing as traffic making you late. You just didn't leave early enough. That's all, right? So, anyways, let's go to social media recruiting. So, when I noticed that some of the younger people, more so Generation Z, right? I believe, yes, Generation Z. They don't talk on the phone at all. They don't have people's phone numbers. It's weird for them to call their friends, even though we want them to do it, and they'll still do it if they're coachable, right? But their friends don't see them in that professional manner, and that's okay, but they will take a manager's call. And so what I started noticing was people were not as open to giving their numbers straight to their friends, but they were open to a video call, and they were open to a text message from their friend. But if they were applying for something, they would take the manager's call. So what we first started doing was posting, because I started noticing people didn't have people's phone numbers. So Nalia had like 15 names and like 14 numbers, and 4 QAs booked to happen, and nobody got recruited from her original list. And half of her list didn't even answer the phone. So I was like, okay, something has to give. So I was like, how many followers do you have on at least Instagram? She's like, I don't know, how many do you have? 3,000 followers. So I was like, okay, that's not like 30 grand, right? But it's something to work with. She has more than me. I have 1,600. She has 3,000.
That's
so
20 times more than Josh.
So she posted one flyer, like 20 people, 30 people responded in one day. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just Nalia, right? She's like my first experiment. But she ran with it and she did it consistently every other day she posted. So we post after the first work section, after the first second work session, after each work session basically, when hot market runs out, when we feel like their list is getting a little bit depleted, right? When people aren't answering because they may not answer immediately because they're all on D&D, that's also one thing. And if momentum is up, we still post. If momentum is down, we still post. And we post when the team is working, we post when the team is winning, we post the events, we post the accomplishments. We just don't know who's watching. So you want to take every opportunity you can because you don't know when people are looking at your story. But these are the three main factors of our social media success so far. So this is a flyer that I use Canva, the Canva app, to create. The reason I made the flyer similar like this, after all the flyers I have made in the past, is because I saw somebody who was a top recruiter on the scoreboard. I started searching her up, and I found her on Facebook, and after I found like a social media post on Instagram from her, it just popped up on one of my like random finds, right? I was like, what is this? So I realized it was a Primerican. And I found her on Facebook, and I was like, that's a #1 recruiter in whatever state she's in, right? I forgot who it was. But her flyer looked similar to this, and I saw people responding, so I was like, let me copy this and just make it DMV related, so that we can recruit locally mainly, right? So most of the people getting success are in Generation Z. Those people are born 97 to 2012. When they post a flyer, I got this from Nalia, maybe you may know someone else who's interested. If it's not you, you post that in there, and they direct the prospect who looks at that to the office website, our office website, which if Thomas can pull up, it's www.diamondteam.org. I actually use ChatGPT to write everything, so I did not do it, by the way. I just edited some things. I pay about $20 a month for the website, and there could be other affordable options, but at first it was just an experiment.
Well, now you got this idea from somebody, right? Somebody else that was recruiting has a website that you direct
Yes,
people to?
yes. So the website also I got as an idea. Again, I started as an experiment because I've created Google Forms before, and for some time it worked out, right? I ran it for like 6 months to almost a year, and then it started dying out, probably because of the people that weren't as aligned anyways with the message we were putting out. But I saw some of the, I pay attention to some of the $1 million hierarchies and multi-million-dollar hierarchies, and they have people that are just posting each other, #1, but there's a common denominator with everybody having some type of team website. And it doesn't say Primerica on it, so you want to make sure that nothing says that Primerica is, putting this out there just for compliance reasons. But, I picked, nice pictures. Some of them were edited to look at like HD, right? And I asked permission to post, by the way. If I want Chastity to be on there, right? Chastity, right? Are you okay with you being on the website, right? So I don't have brand new people being posted on there just because we don't know how long they'll stick around. But yeah, so AI wrote this, by the way, not me. So client appointments, it's cool because it tells you what you want people to search you up as. So it'll pop up for life insurance searches, our website. It's not too much that they can look at, but if you go down a little bit more, you see we're hiring. And then they can fill out their name, phone number, email, their state in case they're out of state, their IG handle. There's some people I don't want on the team, honestly. You want to give everybody the opportunity, but you don't want people showing their glutes, right, on social media. And
Sandra Ali,
so there were some people I personally did not call, but I'll give the number to Nalia to get good at steam calling. Does that make sense? Right? I don't want to take away the opportunity for Nalia to get experience to make a steam call. That person still may not show up, but I'm not going to steam call them. So we put our address up. So I feel like people, they respond better when they see the environment before they see the environment. So when they see a fun environment, they're more attracted to it versus just like a corporate, this is all about work feel. So when they see other young people, I try to keep the demographic as diverse as possible. You go up to the pictures. Yeah, so click next. Yeah, so, we got Eddie, we just took Chastity out, Nalia on stage. Nalia and Robert's birthday, she had the same birthday. She on stage. This is from the Orlando trip. right? Mark Glass, the newly licensed people, right? Them working, Kat and Thomas, our big gala. So it's just fun, right? So people see, they're like, oh shoot, like I don't know what they do, but that looks like they're having fun. So that was what I wanted to portray on there, so that people coming from social media, right, would feel like they could be in a fun environment. So we do have a fun environment. We joke around a lot, right? We eat a lot together. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if we go back to the slide. Yeah, so they have to refer the name of the person who referred them to get a call. So if I see somebody who if somebody fills out the website application, I get an email notification and it says, did anybody refer you? Please include their name. I'm gonna put that on my personal list, but they're gonna go on the back burner because they didn't follow the directions. Because if you can't follow that one direction, I'm probably just gonna go to somebody else really quick. I'm looking for clues for coachability at first, and if you can't just read a post and put their name on, because Cynthia will post, oh, please make sure you put my name Cynthia, who referred you, or else you're not gonna get a call, right? So if they can't listen to that little bit, I don't know what else they can listen to, right? So I'm gonna leave them to the back burner, but we've got lines of people in mind to call. The new recruit does not call their person who fills out the application, and if they get questions on social media, like a DM, they are instructed not to answer a bunch of questions. It's the trainer's job. I always say, do your job, don't do my job. Your job is to show up, get licensed, put me in front of people. None of that says you explain everything, right? I do the explaining, or else you wouldn't need me. So that's pretty much about it. Trainer calls, Tuesday guest comes in, and then the fast start meeting. So about 50-60% of our guests show up. If they're coming from more market social media, because some of them know of the person, they're not super cold. They just don't have each other's phone numbers. They just have social media. That's it. And a lot of people are on D&D, so Nolly had a lot of people on D&D, and I mean, they just didn't pick up, right? And some people were going back to Nolly, like, I never got a call. And she's like, yeah, well, I see on my spreadsheet that she called you 3 times, and she left you 3 voicemails, right? So then 2 months later, I get a call, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't check my voicemail, my phone was on D&D, right? Yeah, if your phone is on D&D all the time, I don't even know we can reach you if a client has $100 grand to invest. So those are things I look at in advance. But yeah.
So just so I'm clear, you will bring let's just like start from scratch. You'll recruit a direct, you'll have them run this play.
Yeah.
Right? And then somebody's going to hit them up and then hit the link, I guess.
Mm-hmm. They'll go to the website. Mm-hmm.
Because the website link is already in the post, right?
In the story.
And they're going to just follow the directions, and then you're just gonna call them.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, Nalia, go up there real quick, I'm gonna ask you some questions. And Jen, you can help her.
Yeah.
So, how many contacts are you getting per day, Nalia, from this, like from flyers and like, you have obviously have some people showing up, most of them are young?
I would say on average, like what, 2 or 3?
Yeah, per day it slowed down a
I couldn't
little
hear
bit.
you, what?
Like 2 or 3 per day.
Okay, 2 or 3 per day,
Yeah.
from people that went, they filled out a form, they saw a story, and they want you to call them.
Yeah.
And you call them that day?
Jen calls some people, if I know them or not, I'll call them, but if I know them personally, Jen will call them. But yeah, I'll
So,
call them
'cause
that day.
that whole manager dynamic, you'll call, of the 3, how many pick up, how many do you invite Jen, like how many say yes to that?
I would say 90% pick up.
Yeah.
Okay, so almost everybody picks up.
Mhm.
But they are pretty interested?
Yeah, they're the ones that filled it out. So if they fill out their own application, right, and they're not asked to do so, they just see the story, they make their own decision to fill it out, they already expect a call.
So, you know, back to Josh's question, Jen, you hire Nalia, you give her the flyer right away? Like, is it the first conversation, or you try to work with the market building the list?
So it's first the list first, because we always work the hot market first. And then once we get through the first work session, we booked, I don't remember, we booked like 4 QAs the first work session, and nobody was answering the phone for the recruiting side, right? So we didn't have any invites, so I was like, okay, here, post this flyer really quick, let's see what happens, right?
And then you said 15 people, right?
Like 30 people, yeah.
30
yeah.
people, sorry, 30.
Yeah, it was a lot of people, but most people, like half of that came.
So of the 30, 15 came in because,
Not at once, but
but,
yeah.
yeah, sure. So, when someone comes in, say from the list, from the flyer, you post, Josh comes in, you go through the list, say his list is like anybody's list, it's not great, and say he's younger and does have 3,000 followers, which I think is a lot, by the way, I mean that. So he has 3,000 followers, then you start posting? And are you, you're posting just for the op, right? You're
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
posting for appointments, this is
Yeah.
just kind of op
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
So you post, they fill out the flyer, you call them.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's just a way.
that's it.
How many people do you think are posting this flyer every day for you?
Everybody who's in here.
They post it once a day? So Eddie, you post the same flyer once a day?
Not once a day, every other day.
Every other day. So you post it every, no, this is important. So is there a reason why you don't post it every day?
No reason.
But you just like
Couldn't get
doing it
generic.
every other day?
Yeah,
so-
it gets very, you know how it's kind of like supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
So every once in a while, if you post something, they'll be like, oh, shoot, like, okay.
Generic.
So Eddie, and you're at whatever, 13, 15 recruits, right?
13.
This month. So you post every other day?
The other day.
And how many are responding back? How many leads do you get a day?
About 2.
About 2 a day. Okay, so if you post every other day, your team posts, you do 2 to 3 a day. Of people, 90% are interested, they're gonna pick up. I mean, you guys, most people are posting stupid stuff every day. Right? I mean, I'm just being honest, right? So you can incorporate this other stupidity. I'm not trying to hurt feelings, I'm just saying, you know, just incorporate it. If it,
And I give the flyer to them without my tag on there, right? Cause, I want them to put their tag on there, in case they wanna send it to one of their friends to repost for them. So you wouldn't see my tag on there, my Instagram tag. It would just be blank right here, and I just send them generically to any of the new guys, and they'll just repost it and put their Instagram tag.
okay, so the flyer directs them to the website is the form goes to you, then you call. That's the whole
Yeah,
workflow.
yeah.
As opposed to a Google form or
Mm-hmm.
anything, it's more professional, they go to the website, and you copied and adopted this from big recruiters, from big hires.
Yeah.
And their websites are basically the same, just a lot of pictures of people
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah, just pictures, mostly of themselves, but I see some team pictures. I don't see anything about Primerica. I see everything generically. Financial office, you know, must have no criminal background, et cetera, and then an application.
Now, Xander, Josh, Jen, can you send me the other teams' websites? I just wanna see them.
Mhm.
Just to look at them, if you guys see any of the landing pages or whatever they have, their
Mhm.
forms. And how do you do it where it's local? Cause I mean, you got 22 people in the meeting locally, how do you guys do it so where it's DC people?
So many of our guys are born and raised in DC. So most of their market is already in DC following them. So the market is already there, they just don't have the phone numbers. So when they post and it says hiring in the DMV, it targets anybody in the DMV, but we do have people saying, hey, I'm away, is there any way I can work while I'm in school or something? Every once in a while we'll get that, and we do have a couple recruits that came from out of state. So, but if they, and when we call them, we just ask what state they're in, just to make sure. That's it. They're all coming from the DMV though.
And Nalia, how much do you, like, when you post on your story, how often are you doing it every day? Not the flyer, just in general, like work stuff that you talk about.
I'm getting into that because I've noticed that a lot of people don't really know what I do. So like I post a work opportunity and I tell them what I do, but I don't never actually show myself in the field. So I'm starting to do that more. Like I'm posting more of me talking, or I'll add a video of me talking with the flyer so like they see that I'm actually doing stuff and I'm not scamming.
Sure.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm getting more into that.
And are people engaging with you more?
Yeah,
As they see you?
like I got people texting me like, oh, what do you do? Or like just saying, oh, keep up the good work, or like congratulations, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you've done this before, but have you ever thought of like sponsoring it to like increase the radius of which it like, you know what I mean? Like
No.
on Instagram.
Pay. Do any of the other guys pay? When you sponsor it, pay, when you pay it, you don't need to do it. But have you thought about doing that?
I have, and it didn't work out.
Oh, so you did.
I tried to hire somebody to do it.
No, I
Because-
mean, sponsoring a post means.
Oh,
Yes.
like who's?
Like-
Oh, no, I
No,
didn't.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, all right, they have another meeting coming in, awesome job, give it up for these two.